We have some potentially damaging news to the overall AEW product as the rounds of TV negotiations continue for a new deal for All Elite Wrestling, with the NBA on TNT looking for bigger money and USA Network wanting to get involved in those negotiations. What does this mean for AEW, and does Warner Brothers still want to continue the relationship with Tony Khan and AEW? I got all this and so much more right here on Off the Script. We're also going to talk about a returning WWE superstar that a lot of people are going to be excited about, and MJF conveniently left off the All In 2024 hype package. What is going on with the AEW World Champion? All this plus so much more right here on Off the Script. And we are going to start off with Kairi Sane. Yes, the Pirate Princess herself is returning to WWE. Fans can expect to see Kairi Sane back with the company, as WrestleVotes is reporting imminently. WrestleVotes reported today that Kairi Sane is back on WWE's internal talent roster list, and her return is imminent. The Twitter account wrote this morning, and I quote, "After what feels like months of speculation, I'm told Kairi Sane has reappeared on the internal talent roster. Her return to the company is imminent," end quote. Now, Kairi Sane signed with the WWE back in 2017, where she found success in NXT and somewhat on the main roster. Her, Asuka, Bayley, and Sasha basically held it down and carried the company on their backs during the pandemic era. She's a former NXT Women's Champion, a former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion with Asuka. She departed WWE officially in 2022 after returning to Japan in 2020. Let's keep her away from Nia Jax, first and foremost. I'm only kidding. Actually, I'm not. Kairi Sane back in the WWE. It's exciting. It's great news. The women's division can always use more talent. But at the end of the day, no matter what the women's division looks like, no matter how much great talent is in that women's division, you're going to add Kairi Sane, you're going to add Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton's going to get called up, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade. I mean, the list goes on and on. WWE, if they put their brains to work and actually did something that was substantial with the women's division, it could realistically be the best booked women's division. It could be the best women's division in all of the world, never mind just in the United States, in the world. They have not done that. I don't watch NXT Weekly as religiously as I used to on Tuesday nights. I'll catch up with it via clips. I won't watch a whole show week in and week out. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But if there's one thing that they are doing right down there, is that the women's division, Shawn Michaels, is booking the women's division prominently. It is a staple on Tuesday nights. It is just as important as everything else. You don't get that feeling on the main roster. You didn't get that feeling when Vince and Bruce were running the show. And Triple H, though I know he had a heavy hand in molding the women's revolution on Black and Gold, we have not come anywhere close to feeling anything with the women being as important as it did then under his leadership on the main roster right now. So something's got to change. You can bring in all these big names, but if the creative doesn't change, it really doesn't fucking matter at the end of the day. So Kairi Sane's going to be back in the WWE. Let me know what you guys think about her returning to the WWE. I know she's a fan favorite. I think she's fantastic. She had that great match with Mercedes earlier in the year. She brings a whole hell of a lot to WWE. Now it's up to them to do a whole hell of a lot for her creatively. WWE, SmackDown, moving to USA Network, no longer with Fox. They got somewhat of an increase, a 30% increase. Wasn't really all that looked upon as being a great thing from the shareholders, but they got an increase. SmackDown now going back to USA Network. This has sparked a discussion about what AEW is going to do. It also has sparked a discussion on Monday Night Raw. Do they stay with the USA Network, or do they find a new home on Monday night? Fightful Select is reporting that the SmackDown deal mixed with the NBA on TNT deal expiring in a couple of years and everybody wanting a piece of that pie. USA Network wants a piece of that pie. Amazon, all these streaming networks are going to want to bid for the NBA. All of this is going to have a direct impact on AEW and them getting the money that we once reported back in the day they were going to get because Warner Brothers Discovery was so over the moon and happy about what Tony Khan was doing with All Elite Wrestling. Now, Tony Khan had an important announcement last night on Dynamite. A lot of people were thinking that it could have been or should have been the Max streaming deal. I think we're going to end up getting that, but not right now, maybe towards the end of the year. I'm thinking around World's End going into 2024 when they actually flesh out what they want to do with the monthly pay-per-views that I do see coming to the product. Now, the important announcement wasn't all that important. It was just all-in pre-sale ticket information, and everybody was let down. Tony Khan coming under massive scrutiny today, under fire from everybody in every which direction, and rightfully so, because you can't continue to do that and hype up a major announcement, an important announcement, and then give us that. It's almost as if he's out of touch with his own fucking fan base. That's not what we signed up for. Like, we know the show's happening. Let me worry about that next year. I don't want to worry about that now when you got some of the best storylines right now in all of AEW history happening right now. Just focus on the fucking show and make sure the show is right. Last night's show was not right. The announcement made everything worse. Fightful Select has learned that one deal may affect the others in certain ways. NBC Universal was eager to land SmackDown, which has been viewed as the top show as far as viewership and being football-proof. Now, however, sports may play a different role in the dominoes falling here, moving on into contract negotiations. Warner Brother Discovery contacts spoke with Fightful and confirmed a rumor that we heard that they expect NBCU and USA Network to make a bid on NBA programming rights, which have been a staple on TNT for years. Now, right now, if I could pull up my Google machine, $24 billion is what they are being paid. The NBA is being paid over 9 years for TV rights of the NBA product. It's a lot of fucking money. Now, what they're looking for is upwards towards $60 billion plus. That's a lot of money. That is absolutely a lot of money for the rights to the NBA. Are they going to get it? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of suitors, a lot of bidders for the NBA. But from $24 billion to $60 billion, I mean, that's quite the leap. Now, NBCU and USA Network want to make a bid for the NBA programming. This would likely affect the budget that could exist for USA Universal getting Raw and NXT as well. NBA is expecting a massive increase for the TV rights in 2025 into 2026. This would also affect Warner Brothers Discovery budget in the event they somehow lose the NBA. AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery, as of a few weeks ago, were unable to come to terms in a deal which Fightful was told would include AEW television rights, pay-per-view, as well as the library. Those at Warner Brothers Discovery stated that Tony Khan has a particular value that he believes the AEW library is worth. Warner Brothers sources that we spoke to at Fightful said that they've been very happy with the AEW partnership and look for it to continue. When we asked about viewership numbers that are often the talking point on social media, one source there noted that it isn't anything the company hadn't anticipated, especially going up against football in the fall, as well as with Collision being on Saturday night. I don't know what to make of this. The way it reads, clearly, to me, is that if NBCU and USA Network are successful in landing the NBA for what is rumored to be $60 billion for the TV rights, that will have a direct effect on what they do with Monday Night Raw and NXT. If they get the NBA, Monday Night Raw and NXT are not going to be on USA Network. Seemingly looks like, if that's the case, Raw and NXT need to find new homes. Now, if they lose out on the NBA, then obviously USA Network wants Raw, NXT, and WWE SmackDown all under the same umbrella. They want that. So we know that potentially is going to happen if they lose out on the NBA. If the NBA stays on TNT and TNT does not want to lose the rights and offers up $60 billion to the NBA, what does that mean for Tony Khan? Tony Khan is not getting the money that he thinks AEW is worth if the NBA stays on Warner. That's just the fact of the matter. They may get whatever they have left over, but they're not getting anywhere close to what Tony Khan thinks they are worth. Now, if the NBA goes to USA Network, I mean, again, like Fightful said, the dominoes will fall. If the NBA goes to USA, Raw and NXT need to find new homes. If that happens, AEW will get the money because they have the extra budget to give Tony Khan what he thinks the product is worth, meaning the library, everything AEW is worth. If Warner keeps the NBA, then AEW, they're going to have to settle for whatever's left over or them themselves find a new home. I don't know. Now, this has nothing to do with what Tony Khan is doing to the product or how he's booking the shows. According to sources, I hear it all the time. I hear it. I read it every time. Warner Brothers is happy with the way that AEW is operating. They are. And they want to keep them. They're not going to be able to keep both. So this is going to be a very interesting situation moving forward. The NBA is going to be commanding $60 billion for the TV rights. Someone's going to lose a home. Is it going to be AEW or is it going to be WWE? That's what the big story is going to be coming out of this report. Let me know what you guys think about that one down below. What do you make of this situation? And finally, AEW's big announcement last night on Dynamite was the fact that you could get pre-sale tickets for All In London 2024 early. They released a media letter to everybody in the media yesterday. They sent this out, and the way that it read was very, very interesting. They listed a whole bunch of talent that will be at Wembley for All In London, minus one very important name. They say, and I quote, "Stay tuned for more updates this month ahead of the general public on sale for December 1st. And reminder to pre-register on November 27th for access. I can't wait to return to Wembley for our second London show next August, which will be even bigger and more spectacular for fans in attendance and those watching around the world," says Tony Khan. Now, they go on to list the names, and I quote, "AEW All In London will feature the biggest names in professional wrestling from a roster that includes stars such as Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, Adam Copeland, Saraya, Christian Cage, Adam Cole, who's out with injury. We don't even know if he's going to be able to make All In, FTR, Bryan Danielson, Chris Statlander, Orange Cassidy, Miro, Dr. Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and many more. Additional information and matches will be announced in the near future." End quote. Where is the AEW World Heavyweight Champion? Where is MJF in that announcement? Now, this means one of two things. Number one, he hasn't signed the contract with AEW, and they didn't really want to put him on the media letter that they sent out to the wrestling media with him not being signed to an AEW contract. Maybe they're still in the midst of negotiations. Or, number two, MJF in the bidding war of 2024 is really being played up as a major storyline arc, and they're going above and beyond to play into that. I have said this many times. Tony Khan and this company would be fucking foolish, dumb, if they didn't sit down with MJF already and sign this guy to a fucking extension. I don't give a shit what you do. I don't give a shit what you got to do, what you got to say, what you got to give him. I don't care. You give him a blank check and you give this man whatever the fuck he wants. Because if AEW loses MJF, I don't want to say the company's done, But whatever is close to being done, however close you could get to being done, that's what AEW is. I don't give a shit who they got. I don't give a shit who they bring in. I don't give a shit what ex-WWE guy they bring in. You lose MJF now to WWE, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's your own fault. He is worth whatever the fuck he wants. Now, again, I've said this for months. I don't think that MJF is a free agent. I do think that Tony Khan has signed him to a contract. But anything can happen. You never know with these fucking people. You never know with Tony Khan. He never really explains himself to the media. Everything is always a secret. Everything is always hidden. If they didn't sign MJF, they are done. You don't want that man going to WWE because, my God, man, it would be the biggest blow in the history of all elite wrestling. And you don't think WWE is foaming at the mouth to get MJF? Out of everybody else, that is the one guy, that is the one piece that they take away from AEW. They will never let it go. I don't think that they're that stupid, but knowing Tony Khan, you never know what the fuck the guy's doing. But conveniently, they left him off. I'd like to think that it's a storyline. I'd like to think that they're really playing into it. I've said it for months. We'll figure it out because before you know it, January 1st and the bidding war of 2024 is right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. Guys, thank you very much for all your support on today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the bell for notifications, and go check out the live stream last night where Jesse and I ripped AEW a new asshole. So if you guys enjoy that type of thing, please go and check it out. It's all on the homepage right now. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Again, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications, and please show your support by hitting that thumbs up right now. Helps out the video tremendously. Guys, I'll be back with more news as it breaks right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.